بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Alright, so we're still on the chapter Bab al-Walad Mabkhalatun Majbana.
It doesn't say you're right.
Check it. Yeah, check the live stream. It's on now.
I just the quality. Okay, now you're right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Alright, so I said we're on chapter 45. Bab al-Waladi Mabkhalatun Majbana. Hadith man.
I'll send you a notification of this. Is that what?
Bab al-Waladi Mabkhalatun Majbana. This is Bukhari. He's given the name of the chapter based on a hadith, and the hadith is from who? See how good you are at taking notes.
This is a new chapter, right? Oh, this is Aisha.
Aisha?
Hi, Ana Aisha.
The hadith is al-Walad Mabkhalatun Majbanatun.
I thought you said what? It's a week or?
That's the name of the chapter, but it's Bukhari. He named the chapter after a hadith. Who's the hadith from? So you're not good at taking notes.
Oh, what?
Oh, you go to Yemen.
No, I see. Was it no? Did we take this hadith or no?
Yeah, we took it.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe you weren't here.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't here.
Was that was the day that you weren't here then? Okay, never mind. SubhanAllah. Okay, so whatever. You're here. You got free on that one. That was the day that, remember, you were coming from the restaurant and I told him, I said, well, it's a race. You try to get here, I'm going to recite the two shortest surahs in the Quran to see who can get done faster. He lost.
Well, I almost got into almost fought someone at the restaurant the other day. Well, I almost grabbed him and threw him out the restaurant.
Yeah, that was that day, so you weren't here then. Okay, so the name of the chapter, Bab al-Walad Mabkhalatun Majbana. We already took the hadith number 84. But the name of the chapter is a hadith from Ya'la al-Amiri. It's in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad. But the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Walad Mabkhalatun Majbanatun. What does that mean? Let's see if you went back and checked the live stream. You're supposed to be watching the live stream.
No, I was at work.
Al-Walad Mabkhalatun Majbana. What does that mean?
You have kids, you become a little bit stingy and you become a little bit coward.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That the kids, you know, when you have kids, they turn you into a stingy coward. Because what happens is, you know, if you're single, you don't have children.
You don't care.
Yeah, there's this like lack of worry, lack of concern. So you do a lot of things that you wouldn't do once you start to have kids. You're a little bit more juri, you know, daring, you know, so especially even with your money, like, because if you have money and you don't have a family, what do? You might invite all your friends out. Hey, come on, let's go eat and pay for it. You don't care, you know, because why? You have no family, you know. But once you start to have a family and you have responsibilities and you have to take care of the bills and then you want to buy things for your children, you know, it's gonna turn you what? You start counting the dollars instead of like, you know, just handing them out. All right, and also like Majbana, because obviously if you know there's fighting or something, you'd be more hesitant to go because you know your kids, your family. Oh, how can I leave my family? Someone's gonna look after my family, you know, and then you're gonna have a different point of view. Whereas like maybe if you were young. And so, you know, some kuffar attack the country, and then you just run out. You don't care, you know? Because if you're not married, I mean, you don't really care about living that much anyways, all right? But once you get married, you have kids, and it starts to change your mentality. All right, so we're on the second hadith, which is 85. I'm really going to tiptoe around this hadith, man, because I'm not going to go into the issues of this hadith, because number one, I'm not in the mood for it. And number two, it's just it's a lot of things that involve explaining this hadith that people aren't ready for right now. So we're just going to, you know, I'm going to walk along the edges of this hadith right now. So حدثنا Musa, who is Musa? Musa ibn Man.
Yaqub.
No, man, come on, you should know this guy by now. This is the Sheikh of Bukhari. And we said him at least, I think, I don't, if I said 10 times, that would be too few. No. Musa, no, because this is the Sheikh of Bukhari. Musa ibn Ismail. He wants to go to Yemen. Oh, yeah. All right, قال حدثنا مهدي بن ميمون قال حدثنا ابن أبي يعقوب عن ابن أبي النعم قال كنت شاهدا ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما إذا سأله رجل عن دم البعوضة فقال ممن أنت؟ فقال من أهل العراق فقال انظروا إلى هذا يسألوني عن دم البعوضة وقد قتلوا ابن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول هما ريحانتي من الدنيا. And now you see why I'm going to tiptoe around this, right? So this is reported on the authority. This is reported by Ibn Abi Nu'm. And he said that he was a witness when one of the people came up and asked Ibn Umar, radiallahu anhum, about the blood of a mosquito. Now, what is he asking about the blood of a mosquito? Why is he asking about this? And in another narration, it was the blood of a fly. He killed a fly. But why is the blood significant here? Like right now, if you kill a mosquito, you're going to go up to a sheikh and ask him about it, it would have no significance right now, right? But there is one time where maybe a person might think that it would have significance. When? And when he's in the state of ihram. So that's why, because they were in Hajj, and he killed a fly. And in this narration, he killed a mosquito. All right, and he got worried. You know, Mr. Taqwa, you know, like, oh my God, I killed a fly or I killed a mosquito. Does this mean that I have to, you know, is this something upon me now because now I've killed an innocent insect? So he said, so the man asked him about the blood of the mosquito, and he said, where are you from? He said, I'm from the people of Iraq. He said, look at this guy. It's Ibn Umar. He said, look at this guy. This guy, he comes and asks me about the blood of a mosquito. And they killed, you know, and we'll call it Qatalu Ibn al-Nabi. Now here they say Ibn Nabi. All right, but what are they referring to? Al-Hussein. And who killed him? Ashab al-Karbala. All right, in Iraq. When he went to Iraq, they didn't just kill him. Killed him and they slaughtered a large portion of his family. A large portion of his family. 14, 16, I can't remember how many people were involved in the killing. So they killed, and it wasn't just him, although, you know, obviously that's what people talk about, but they killed a whole large group of his family. So it was the people from Iraq that killed him. So he said, you know, here he is, they go and he kills Hussein, but then he's gonna ask me about the blood of a mosquito. You know, because he's trying, like, here he's showing, like, taqwa, like, oh, you know, I'm in ihram, and, you know, this is not permissible, but then when it comes to the Prophet's family, he had no concern whatsoever. So he said, I heard the Prophet ﷺ say, Huma, and who's the Huma here? Hassan was saying, yes, Huma Rayhanatayya. And why did he refer to them? Because we know Rayhana. What is a Rayhana in English? Man, you're gonna get this message all dirty, man. You're cleaning up tonight. You know, like out of all the things you could hand people out, ice cream sandwich, man. You better give the people some handy wipes or something. I've never eaten an ice cream sandwich and come away unscathed, man. If you hand me an ice cream sandwich, the first thing I'm doing is taking off the white dough. Because it's gone, man. You know, it gets all in your hands. All right. But he said, why did he call him a Rayhana? Why did they refer to Hassan Hussein as Rayhana Tayyib? What is Rayhana?
Soothing.
Some type of flower.
Some type of what?
Flower.
Okay, but be more specific.
Is it like a set? Like a sketch? Like a set? Smoke?
Mm.
Flower. That's
Oh, come on, Ahl al-Yemen. You guys are disappointing me to the...
Man,
See, in Yemen, every single Friday, you got people that grow this all over the place, and they go and pluck it off and they put it in the imam, and they wear it to Jumu'ah.
Man, we're American Yemeni.
Where is the Ashab al-Jidar, man? Sahib al-Jidar. It's basil. Basil.
oh, basil.
Yeah, Rayhana is basil. It's like, it grows up just straight up, and it has like the flowers that come up that have a very nice smell to them. I said, you break a piece off. I used to put it in my pocket. Some people put it in their mama.
Is it kind of like
Yeah, but it's got like a kind of a bitter taste to it. And how do we know that it has what's the evidence that it has a bitter taste?
The frown on your face?
Huh?
The frown on your face?
It's a hadith. Huh? You guys, man, come on now. Am I the one that's messed up today, or you guys? What did the Prophet ﷺ say about the mu'min alladhi yaqra al-Qur'an kamathal ish? I gave a khutbah about this. I think maybe in Ramadan, maybe, I'm not sure.
I think it's like
He said, المؤمن الذي يقرأ القرآن مثل الأطروجة ريحها طيب وطعمها حلو طيب. And he said, المؤمن الذي لا يقرأ القرآن كمثل إيش? So أطروجة is like a... What is it? I thought it was Sahib al-Jidar. I was going to hit him right as soon as he came in. What is Rayhana?
I do. You shouldn't hit him. He gave me 2 free.
Not hit him, man. Hit him up. Like, I'm going to ask him the question. Not hit him.
No. Just, he hooked me up today.
Huh?
He hooked me up today.
Well, he did.
Yeah, with 2 free expensive sweatpants.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right, so al-Uthruja is like a citron. I don't know what this fruit is, but it's like it's got like a it's from the citrus fruit, but it has a sweet taste to it. So it's got like a nice smell and a sweet taste. And he said, "Al-mu'min alladhi la yaqra al-Qur'an mithla what?" No. Mithla tamara.
Oh, isn't that?
And طعمها لا ريح لها وطعمها حلو. So it's got like a good taste, but there's no, because he's a mu'min alladhi la yaqra al-Qur'an. So because he's got the iman and he's got the correct aqidah, he's got the understanding of tawheed. So what? The sweetness of faith is within him. But because he doesn't do any actions on the outside, what? He doesn't produce anything. So he's not he's not reciting the Quran. So if he's not reciting the Quran, then what does that mean? That means there's a lot of things that he's not doing. Because if you're not reciting the Quran, then it means that you're not looking at the things that you need to be. Just like we talked about in the khutbah today, like why you should be reading the Quran. To be trying to look for this guidance and look for what you're trying to do as a believer, as the things that you're trying to do to get closer to Allah. So if you're not reading the Quran, then what?
You're a loser.
You're not a loser. I mean, he's still a mu'min. But I'm saying he's not going to be producing a lot of actions, right? And then he gave the example, that was the movement, all right? And then he said, وَالْمُنَافِقَ الَّذِي يَقْرَأُ الْقُرْآنَ مِثْلُ مَنْ. So now the hypocrite that reads the Quran is like what? مِثْلُ كَمِثْلُ إِيش? Rayhana. Yeah, رِيحُهَا طَيِّب, because he's reading the Quran. He's producing something. وَطَعْمَهَا what? Mur. Alright, so the smell of it is very nice and pleasing because he's reading the Quran. But inside, his aqidah, his understanding of the deen is what? It's fasid, it's corrupt. So ta'amaha mur, so the taste of it is what? Very, very bitter.
Which kind of nifaq we're talking about? Major or minor?
Major. Yeah. Alright, and then he said, Al-munafiq alladhi la yaqra Quran, mithlu what? Well, I forgot what he said about that. Look up the hadith, the last part. I forgot the last thing. It's mithlu hinta. Yeah, look it up just in case. Alright, so al-munafiq alladhi la yaqra Quran mithlu hinta. Hinta is like a plant that grows out in the desert. Alright, and he said what? La riha laha wa ta'amaha mur. So it has no smell to it. And the taste of it is what? It's bitter. It's not producing any actions. And on top of that, the taste of it is bitter. So there you go. That's your evidence that Rayhana is bitter, right? From the Sunnah. Alright. But the reason why, the Arabs, they refer to the young child, the young son, as a Rayhana, because, when you have a young son, let's say he's about 3, 4, 5 years old, whenever he's around you, what do?
Pay attention to him.
More than pay attention to him. You're picking him up, you're holding him, kissing his head, because there's something, there's just something that attracts you to him, just like the Rayhana, the smell of the Rayhana, it attracts the person. When you smell it, you want to keep it close to you, you want to have it near you so you can, so just like that young son of yours, especially that first one.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. What did I say? Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Oh, astaghfirullah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. All right, yeah. Alhamdulillah is burr. No, you're right. Because alhamdulillah is wheat. All right. So that's why I refer to it what? Rayhana tayyiba. All right, min ad-dunya. All right. So what's the shahid of the hadith here? What's the connection to the chapter? Well, it's not really stingy, but it's the love for the child. Because it doesn't really go back to this specific chapter heading, but the topic here, because here it's talking about the banat, now it's talking about the awlad and the love that a person has for the sons. And huma rayhana tayyib min ad-dunya. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ said about that Hassan Hussein, even though they weren't his sons, they were Ali's sons, but still, and this is the feeling that he had for them, just like they were his own sons. Alright, so the next chapter, what does Shaykh al-Albani say about this?
I couldn't find it.
Oh, you know why? Because it's not a hadith, it's a narration from Ibn. Actually, there's a hadith though. Because he said it. He said, قَتَلُوا ibn Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, سَمِعْتُ النَّبِي sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so it is a hadith. And this hadith is authentic. It's actually in Bukhari. So I'm not sure about Sahih Muslim, but it is in Sahih Bukhari. Alright, Bab Hamad al-Sabi al-Atiq. Alright, this chapter is what? Carrying a child, what? On your shoulder. Alright, so this is Haddathana Abu al-Walid. قال حدثنا شعبة ibn Man.
But I think you skipped 2 hadiths.
I didn't skip nothing.
This is on mine. One of Aisha.
No, I don't know. It's right there, 86, 85, 86. Because you got yours is mixed up, dude, because Shaykh al-Albani, what he did to it. So he, because this is Sahih Adab and Mufrad, he split the hadiths up, so yours is mixed up. This is on the original order, so Bab Hamad al-Sabi al-Atiq. Alright, so Hadathana Abu al-Walid, قال حدثنا شعبة ibn Man. Shu'bah ibn Man. And he wants to go to Yemen.
I haven't been studying the area.
No, I've asked him this question. You can go back and watch every single live stream. Every time that Shu'bah's name came up, I asked him. So this has to be at least the 5th or 6th time. So you forget Musa ibn Ismail, you forget Shu'bah ibn al-Hajjaj. What else you gonna forget, man? You gonna forget your own name next? Alright. So, I gotta prepare him. Gotta prepare him. 'Cause you go up there, man, sitting there, you're gonna have to be, what do they say, thick-skinned? Because you're gonna get caught on all the time, man. Get ready for it. But you're not gonna be getting caught on in front of 15 people. You're gonna be getting caught on in front of 1,000 people. All right, so now, so شعبة عن علي بن ثابت قال سمعت البراء رضي الله عنه يقول رأيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الحسن رضي الله عنه على عاتقه وهو يقول اللهم إني أحبه فأحبه. Alright, so this hadith is reported on the authority of Al-Bara رضي الله عنه. And when she said, I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Al-Hassan was on his shoulder. And he was saying, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allahumma inni uhibbuhu. Oh Allah, I love him. Fa'ahibbahu. So please, you also love him. So he's making dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves Al-Hassan. Alright, and this the reason why I wanted to read those two hadiths, because Allahu Alam, why if Bukhari did this on purpose, or if this was done on accident, because here he brought the hadith about Al-Hussein, and then he brought the hadith about Al-Hassan, you know, and then back-to-back hadiths, because, you know, the you know, and where he talked about, you know, Rayhanatayya. So here you see, he brought this hadith and this hadith together. If he did that on purpose, Allahu Alam. But that's what it appears. What happened to Al-Hussein? How did he die? Not Al-Hussein, Hassan, because Hussein was killed by what we now know as the Rafidah. He was poisoned. He was poisoned. But the only thing is they don't know who. And they went to him at the time of his death. And so, I mean, there's a lot of people say that this person, and of course, if you listen to the Rafidah, Uthman did it, and, you know, Muawiyah did it, and even though Muawiyah was in Sham when it happened, so, nah, that's none of that. There's no evidence for any of that. They don't know who did it. Some of the people say that it was his wife that did it, you know, but no, nobody knows, so khalas, you can't speculate on that. And anything like that would be an accusation of saying that, you know, this person poisoned them. That would be crazy to, you know, make that accusation and then come on the day of judgment that you accused. You know, that's yeah, so Allah musta'an. But yeah, nobody knows. But he was. They you know, the one thing they can't agree on is what he was poisoned. But who poisoned him? Allah knows best. All right. So what I said today. What's the chat look like? Chicken fingers going crazy. All right, so what I said today, and I can't read all of this because this is all, we'll be sitting here for like until Fajr, because this is Ibn Rajab, and Ibn Rajab, he goes into detail. But the whole point was, we constantly talk about the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas. In fact, I mentioned it in the end of the khutbah today. Who knows the hadith? Not you. The hadith that was mentioned in the last hadith of the khutbah today, what? No hope for the hopeless?
Not today.
Not today. Are you going to give hope to the hopeless? Don't tell me you're looking the hadith up.
No, I'm looking at the chat.
What's the last hadith of the khutbah today? Yeah, come on. Say it. Say what you know of it.
كلمات احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاهك واذا سالت فاسال الله واستعنت واستعن بالله واعلم ان الامه لو اجتمعت على ان يضروك بشيء لن ينفعوك الا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك ولو اجتمعوا على ان يضروك بشيء لن يضروك الا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك رفعت الاقلام وجفت الصحف.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Anybody else know the hadith?
Like following.
He's going to be a doctor, inshallah. All right. So what we wanted to do is focus on some parts of the hadith. And the main parts of the hadith is about ihfadullah yahfaduk, right? So inshallah we're going to go over what Ibn Rajab said in certain. I'm just going to like kind of jump around because this is from Jami' al-Ulumi wal-Hikam. And anybody that knows this book, it's a very, 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 very beneficial book, extremely beneficial. extremely beneficial. But it is, I mean, Ibn Rajab does in this book what Ibn Rajab does, which he brings everything. So he brings ahadith that are just like, where did you get that from? You know, so I'm just gonna pick and, you know, kind of like cherry pick from the things that he talked about in regards to this hadith that are still within the confines of being authentic. But like I said, it's a very beneficial book. This is the explanation of Arba'in and Nawawiyah, and he added 8 more hadiths to make the hadiths 50, and then he explained it in this book. So it's very beneficial. All right, so he said, فقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم احفظ الله يعني احفظ حدوده وحقوقه وأوامره ونواهيه وحفظ ذلك هو الوقوف عند أوامره بالامتثال وعند نواهيه بالاجتناب وعند حدوده فلا يتجاوز ما أمر به وأذن فيه إلى ما نهى عنه فمن فعل ذلك فهو من الحافظين لحدود الله الذين مدحهم الله في كتابه وقال عز وجل هذا ما توعدون لكل أواب حفيظ من خشي الرحمن بالغيب وجاء بقلب منيب وفسر الحفيظ ها هنا بالحافظ لأوامر الله وبالحافظ لذنوبه ليتوب منها. So here Al-Hafiz Ibn Rajab rahimahullah, he said that احفظ Allah, it means احفظ حدوده. What does that mean? Protect them. You might want to move that away from me, Mujahid. Move it back a little bit. I keep kicking with my feet too much. So. Protect the boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set. Alright, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave an example of these boundaries in the hadith of Nu'man ibn Bashir. What's the hadith? Did y'all eat Krispy Kreme donuts for lunch or what?
I had an avocado bacon burger.
Avocado bacon burger.
No, that's from my bro. Bacon. Yeah, beef bacon.
From your restaurant?
Yeah, from the
Yeah, they got halal food. An avocado bacon burger?
Yeah, I like bacon, man.
with him too.
Oh, wow. I thought I had it bad. Come on, what's the hadith of Nu'man ibn Bashir where he talked about the hudud? Think, ponder, remember, think. As soon as I say the hadith, he's, oh yeah, I know. إن الحلال بين وأن الحرام بين وبينهما what? أمور مشتبهات لا يعلمهن كثير من الناس فمن اتقى الشبهات فقد استبرأ لدينه وعرضه ومن وقع في الشبهات وقع في الحرام كالراعي يرعى حول الحمى يوشك أن يرتع فيه على وإن لكل ملك حمى على وإن حمى الله محارمه على وإن في الجسد مضغة إذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله وإذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. So now where in this hadith is he talking about the hudud? So he said that the halal has been made clear to you. What is clearly, no doubt, halal has been made what? Clear to you. Now, the halal has been made clear to us in what? In a specific sense, with tafsil, or in a general sense?
Both.
Specific sense.
Both.
I think I might go with both, but you're gonna have to explain.
Well, like, generally speaking, anything that comes out of the earth is halal to eat.
So general in a dunya sense. And specific in what? In deen.
Yeah.
Because in deen you have to have evidence for every ibadah that you do.
We're talking about ibadah or?
Well, no, we're talking about halal.
Oh, halal, yeah. Oh, and the.
But when we talk about halal from ibadah, it has to be what? It has to fulfill 2 conditions. Condition number 1, what?
Halal.
Yeah, okay. Condition number 2?
Tibah.
Dalil, what?
First one, وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ. ولقد أوحي إليك وإلى الذين من قبلك لئن أشركت لا يحبطن عملك ولا تكونن من الخاسرين. And the other one was, I'm trying to think from the Quran, وما آتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا. From the hadith, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said,
I mean, you can also say, وما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون لهما الخيرة من أمره. You have to do it, you have to do it. There's no choice in the matter. But yeah, the hadith of Aisha, what?
was من عمل عملا ليس عليه أمرنا فهو رد.
Yeah, so whoever does an action that's not from the affairs of this deen, which is an innovation, then it's rejected. It's rejected, right? So that shows that all actions of ibadah, they have to be done with ikhlas, and they have to be done with what? Al-mutaba'ah. Al-ikhlas wal-mutaba'ah. Al-mutaba'ah to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam means that you're following the messenger in this issue. So, and what is ibadah?
Are the questions to me or to everyone?
Because
I can answer the question.
what did Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah say the definition of ibadah is? Let's be more specific.
Like pray,
Today is
with obey someone.
hmm?
Like I'd rather like obey someone, like obey Allah,
I've been up
the
since 4.
Quran.
Huh?
I've been up since 4.
Oh, that's a good excuse.
What happened?
He said he's been up since 4. So don't rely on him for answers today.
What is ibadah?
Ibadah, according to Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, ismun jami'un. Write this down for the 5th time, Hamza. Write this down for the 5th time. Or look it up on the internet and highlight it or whatever. Ismun jami'un. لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه من الأقوال والأفعال الظاهرة والباطنة. You want to repeat it?
جامع لما يحبه الله ويرضاه.
لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه.
جامع لكل ما يحبه الله ويرضاه. والأفعال
من الأقوال
والأفعال الجامعة
الظاهرة.
والباطنة.
Yeah. And what does that mean? Explain this to the people, please.
It's جامعة.
Comprehensive terminology. I guess, I don't know, I'm just trying to act like I'm academic clear.
Everything that
الذي
Allah
يعمل
likes,
المشاكل. Like I come
from the doing
He did
what
last
you
night.
can see and what you can keep in your heart.
Alright, so it's a comprehensive term, which means that underneath this term, it starts here, ibadah. And then what happens? Tafarruq, then it starts to branch off into fasting, praying, doing dhikr, reading the Quran, and all these actions, they start to branch off. So it starts up here, and then it just branches off into all these actions. And from amongst these actions are what? Are aqwal, things that you like, for example, recitation of the Quran, doing dhikr, amr bil ma'ruf, wa nahyan al munkar, all of these things are done with what? Adin al-nasiha, kunna liman, alright, nasiha, how is it done? Well, yeah, we're talking, right? Alright, and then we have the af'al, and then we have the aqwal and what? The af'al, okay, praying, doing hajj, giving sadaqah, fasting, even though it's done with the body, but it's something that what?
It's for your soul.
Yeah, because nobody really knows that you're doing it unless you tell them, right? Or they look at your lips in the summertime. They look at your lips, but then again, maybe you just didn't drink enough water that day. They don't know you're fasting, right? So you got the actions of the statements, and you have the actions of the limbs, right? And all of this comes from what?
Ibadah.
From it's ibadah, but it comes from what? What do we say the definition of iman is? Iman.
It's a lot.
The definition of iman. What is iman? The ta'rif.
I know the ulama of the salaf, the original salaf. Iman, man, aqeedah.
Or like original. So
Like as-salih, salaf as-salih.
Yeah.
We're not from 3 generations. Right? We follow them, but we're not.
What's the understanding?
We're not using that right now. This is the iman. فَلِلَّهُ يَمُنُّ عَلَيْكُمْ أَنْ هَدَاكُمْ لِلْإِيمَانِ. Like iman could also mean like the religion.
You're philosophizing right now.
No,
Okay,
it's
what?
not. We learn.
Even my son's laughing at you right now.
And iman has multiple definitions.
No, what is the ta'rif of the salaf? You said the salaf.
Aqidah. Iman aqidah.
Now, that's one part of it, so that's it. It's only
No, no,
i'tiqad al-qalb.
No.
If it's only the i'tiqad al-qalb, then you're from the
No.
Murji'ah, right?
Islam, like the whole religion.
No, because this understanding, they put it in the thing.
No.
Huh.
There's heart emojis.
Alright, okay.
That's the name.
But alright, so, iman is what? Al-i'tiqad bil-qalb.
Yeah.
وإيش؟
قول باللسان.
قول باللسان.
فعل بالجوارح.
عمل بالجوارح و
ولي ما اعتقد به القلب. أو يزيد وينقص.
يزيد بإيش؟
بالطاعة.
بالطاعة. ناخذ avocado bacon burgers. Alright, وينقص بإيش؟
معصية.
بالمعصية. Okay, so now iman is a belief in the heart, action, a statement of the tongue, and action of the limbs. It increases with obedience to Allah and it decreases with what? Disobedience. So ibadah is a part of iman. And these two things cannot be what? Separated. So even ibadah is what? Statement of the tongue, action with the limbs, whether that action be on dhahiran, on the outside, or what? Or batinan. So what is the action that you do that's on the inside?
Loving Allah.
Alright, but let's
Relying upon Allah.
let's think about something that you have to use for every single action.
Loving Allah.
Intentions.
Oh yeah.
Having the correct intention before you go into the action is the action of the heart. So is it from the sunnah when you're about to do an action that you're going to sit there and say, "Oh Allah, I intend to pray 4 rak'ahs of dhuhr to you, mukhlisan laka deen." Is this from the sunnah? No, it's bid'ah. Alright, because the intentions are an action of the heart. It's from the bawatan, it's from the things that are inside, it's not from the outside. Alright. So now, going back to the hadith of Nu'man ibn Bashir, he said, "In al-halal bayin." So the halal, we told you, is bayin. So it's what? When we talk about the dunya, everything is halal except for what? What has been made haram, what's been specified that is haram. So if somebody comes up to you about something that's dunyawi, something from the dunya, and says, "Ya akhi, this is haram," who has to bring the evidence?
The person saying.
The person that made the accusation.
The person who said that it's haram. Because the asl, the foundation of everything in this dunya is halal until you have evidence to show that it is what?
Haram.
Haram. The deen is what?
Opposite.
Is the opposite. Everything is what? Is haram. So for you to say that this ibadah is correct, then who has to bring the evidence? Yeah, the one who does that type of worship and says that this is from the sunnah. He has to bring the evidence. But the person making inkar and telling them that this is not from the sunnah, he doesn't have to bring the evidence because the asl of everything is it has to have evidence. So that's the halal. And he said, "In al-haram what? Bayin." And then the haram has been made what? It's clear to you, right? And in the same manner, but in the opposite direction. So the dunya, what? It's been made clear to us, everything that's been made for haram for us in the dunya. Alright, because if you ask anybody, is pork haram? Is eating blood haram? Is eating a dead animal haram? And what I mean by dead animal, because one time I posted this on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh my God, don't you know every animal's dead?" You know, a dead animal, it means what?
Roadkill.
Roadkill.
Yeah, something that dies from other than being slaughtered. No, I mean, it doesn't have to be roadkill.
Or
You could be hunting, and then the other person, like you're trying to, you see a bird, right, or a deer, right, and you shoot the deer, You say Bismillah, you shoot it, but the deer kind of runs off, right? You go after him, then you find the deer, and you find that the deer has an arrow, but the arrow that's in the deer is not your arrow. Permissible or not permissible?
Dead meat.
Not permissible. It's just a dead animal. It's been killed. It's been killed. It's not roadkill. It was killed by the arrow. It was hunted. But because it wasn't killed by your arrow, the one that you said Bismillah when you fired that arrow. So you don't know whose arrow this is. And especially now that we live in the land of the kuffar, if we're out hunting and they're hunting, and we definitely not going to eat it. What about this one?
What if the guy's a Christian?
What
if he's a Christian? What if he's a Christian?
Doesn't matter. We don't know if he said Bismillah on the arrow. So what about this one? You shoot let's say a turkey, some big bird, right? You shoot a turkey with an arrow or even with a gun, however you want to do it. You say Bismillah, and he goes, like duck hunt, and falls down. So you go after him. I'm gonna get him, but you can't find him right away for some reason, whatever. But the next day you say, okay, look, it's getting late. It's night. I'm gonna go get in my tent. I'm gonna go out in the morning. I'm gonna see if I can find him. You go out in the morning and you find him and he's in a big puddle of water. Halal or not halal?
Not halal.
Why?
Maybe the water has
You
infection.
don't know who killed it, whether you killed it or not.
Yeah, 'cause
You don't know if he died from the arrow or if he died from drought.
yeah, so it is. So you don't know if I killed him or if the water killed him. So he could have just landed, and when he landed in the water, he might have still been alive, and then he drowned to death. So because of the not surety, we don't eat it. We leave it. All right. Let the hyenas have it. All right. So, but anyways, back to the point. All right, a little question and answer session. All right. All right. So the haram bayin. So everything in the dunya that's been made haram to us, it's been mentioned. Alhamdulillah, we know. Either from the Quran or from the Sunnah. And from ibadah, every form of worship that you don't have evidence for is what? Yeah, you stay away. It's done. You don't do it until you have evidence for it. So that's it. It's been made clear to us. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, وَبَيْنَهُمَا what? الْأَمُورُ الْمُشْتَبِهَاتِ. And what are these mushtabihat? What are they?
Doubtful matters.
Yeah, doubtful matters. But how are they doubtful?
They're not clear from the Sunnah. The evidence is not clear.
It's clear, but we just...
It's for the scholars, something like...
Yeah, it's clear. I mean...
But like something that Awami would understand.
Because some of the evidence, you have to follow up and connect maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different hadiths together and use them all and then compare them all together, which most of the general populace is not going to be able to do. If like a layman Muslim reads hadith, let's just say that he reads hadith every day. Generally, what is he going to be reading? Riyadh al-Salihin, something like this. He's not reading Bukhari, Muslim, Sunan Abi Dawud, Sunan al-Tirmidhi, trying to understand the Kutub Sitta and then look at the different ahkam and then how to look at the tabweeb and the chapter headings of Abi Dawud in comparison to the chapter headings of Bukhari. He's not going to do this, right? And he's definitely not going to have the ability to look at this issue and say, okay, what did Ibn Qudamah say about this in Al-Mughni? What did Al-Hafiz say about this in Fath al-Bari? What did Imam Shafi'i say about this in Al-What about Imam Malik in Madawanat al-Kubra? The people are not going to have the ability to do that. So therefore, those mushtabihat, that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يعلمهن كثير من الناس. That the majority of the people, they're not going to know them because they're not going to have the tools to go out and search for those things. Because that takes a lot of studying and a lot of, because you have to be grounded in the usul al-fiqh, you have to be grounded in mustalah hadith, you have, so you also have to be grounded in the language, and then other than that, you have to be grounded in just research, just knowing what books to go to and where to find these issues. Because if you're like a beginner, and you go to something like, let's say al-Muhalla, Ibn Hazm, because you heard one of the students in college saying, oh wow, al-Muhalla is a great book, and you go to that book, man, I don't know what's going to happen to that person. I couldn't imagine what would happen to a layman who read Muhalla. It might be a very, very, man, that guy will flip, so almost done. His deen might start doing backflips, man. Not that, Ibn Hazm's strong in fiqh, but you have to know what? where he got it right and where he was like, where you're like, would you? No. Because he's from the Zahiriyah. And the Zahiriyah, what do they do? What are they known for? Zahiriyah. It's in their name. Come on, you can think about it.
Speculation.
Oh, they're very, like, they just rule on what's apparent. Like, only what's apparent.
Yeah, they take the Zahir of the Hadith.
Like, for example.
This is what the Prophet said, Khalas. So they're not going to take it and compare it to other hadith or maybe ayat from the Quran. They just take the Zahir of the Hadith. The Prophet ﷺ says haram, Khalas, it's haram. And the other ulama, they'll take other hadith and say, no, it's makruh. It's disliked, but it's not haram. Based on what? Other hadith. But if they have one narration where the Prophet ﷺ said, naha anhu. So an example, like when we talked about drinking standing up. Now the hadith is what? A nahi. The Prophet ﷺ what? Naha anhu. So if you go to like the Zahiriyah, they're going to tell you straight up, haram. Alright, you know, and the other ulama, they're going to say no. They're going to mention the two instances that the Prophet ﷺ what? He drank standing up. And they're going to say no, it's permissible because the Prophet did it. And the one time where he drank from the qarab, not the qarab, I keep saying qarab, it's not qarab, it's a kirba. I said this in the last thing and I didn't correct myself. Qarab is a canoe. I keep saying this, but a kirba. A kirba is like a sheepskin or a goat skin, and they tan it and they turn it into like a water thing because it keeps the water very, very cold. And not cold, but it keeps it cool in the desert. All right, but why did the Prophet ﷺ, because he said, don't drink from the mouth of the kirba, right? So a lot of the people, they take this hadith and what do? They take the bottle and they drink like this because the Prophet, but he was talking about the kirba. Why is that?
A lot of people use it.
Not just a lot of people use it, but also because back in those days, snakes, the snakes would get into the house and from the roofs. Because, you know, their roofs were made out of palms, you know, palm leaves and just palm fronds, like, you know. So snake got into one of the pit of the person, and when he opened it, the snake was in there, and he drank straight from it. So that's why he told him, Allah knows best. That's what some of the ulama say, for that purpose. But why the Prophet ﷺ drank from it? Because it was hanging from the ceiling. So can he drink from it sitting down? No. All right, the other time when he was in Hajj, he drank standing up, so 2 times. So then you got the other people, so you got the Zahiriyah, they're going to say what? Haram, no questions asked. Then you get the other ulama, like the Hanabila, like you see in Saudi, they say, no, it's halal, no problem. Some of them might say makruh, because you still have the hadith of the nahi, right? But then you get the other people from Ahl al-Hadith that said, no, it's haram, except what? In a situation of necessity, like you have no choice but to stand, you know, to drink standing up. In a situation where it's a necessity or like you feel like you have to, like for example, if you're like in Hajj and somebody hands you water, Hajj, how many millions of people are in Hajj? And if you're doing tawaf, you can't just squat down and just drink water. You're going to get trampled, Akhi. You're going to get trampled. So at this point, you're going to say what? Tell the person, no, it's haram to drink standing up. Are you going to tell them, enjoy yourself, Akhi, drink while you're doing, you know. Yeah, so in the case it's a necessity. So, I told you that, I said that. I said it's a canoe. It's a khirba. I keep making that mistake over and over. Nobody's correcting me. I said it in the last live stream too, where we spoke about this issue. Alright, so, and then after that he said, okay, so haram bayin, وَبَيْنَهُمَا أَمُرُ مُشْتَبِهَاتٍ لَا يَعْلَمُهُنَّ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ فَمَنِ اتَّقَى شُبُهَاتِ. What does this mean? فَمَنِ اتَّقَى شُبُهَاتِ. He has taqwa in regards to these shubahat, which means what? The taqwa, as we've seen from another hadith, where the Prophet ﷺ, what did he say? Da'ish.
I know, I'm going to let them answer.
Da' ma yuribuk ila ma la yuribuk. Leave that which you doubt, or that which you don't doubt. If you think that something is, if you have doubt that something might be haram, then what? Leave it. Don't do it. Why would you do it? Why would you go around and look for a sheikh to say, oh no, it's makruh. Oh no, it's okay, it's mubah. If you have doubt with it, and you feel that looking at the adillah, that it leans more towards being haram, then what? Leave it. Just leave it. Don't go near it. And this is the taqwa. فَمَنِ اتَّقَى شُبُهَاتِ فَقَدْ اسْتَبْرَأَ لِدِينِهِ وَإِرْضِهِ. So now he becomes free from all types of issues in his deen and in his honor. Because if you keep falling into these shubahat, what happens? One, your deen is going to suffer. Because you're going to, if you keep going into the shubahat, maybe sometimes you get it right, but a lot of the times you're not. So that means you're going to be falling into haram a lot. And if you're constantly falling into haram, what's going to happen to your honor? It's going to get trashed, akhi. So you see, like, if you, like, imagine you're supposed to be a sheikh, but you say, oh no, there's some unclarity about, listening to music. So, and then he's a sheikh driving around in the car because he has the shubahat thinking that music is mubah, listening to like 50 Cent or something, you know what I'm saying? So how are the people not going to look at him? And then even when he discovers that, oh wait, I was wrong, it was haram, this is the image that the people have of you, driving around, bumping music in your car, talking about let's follow the sunnah, you know what I'm saying? So now you've fallen into shubahat, your deen has suffered, and your honor is suffered. So, فَمَنِ اتَّقَى شُبُهَاتِ فَقَدْ اسْتَبْرَأَ لِدِينِهِ وَعِرْضِهِ وَمَنْ وَقَعَ فِي الشُّبُهَاتِ. Now what about the man that falls into the shubahat? He said, وَمَنْ وَقَعَ فِي الشُّبُهَاتِ كَالرَّاعِي يَرْتَعْ حَوْلَ الْحِمَى يُوشِكُ and what? And يَرْتَعَ فِيهِ. So what did he say? What does this mean? Anybody want to explain? Come on, somebody. Y'all should know this hadith. This you should know this in English. This hadith you should know it in English. It's in the 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi. Come on. Nobody.
I know it. I know it.
Come on.
Can you repeat the last part?
He said, وَمَنْ وَقَعَ فِي الشُّبَهَاتِ وَقَعَ فِي الْحَرَامِ كَالرَّاعِي يَرْعَى حول الحمى يوشك أن يرتع فيه. I need a pen, ding, hear the pen drop. كالراعي, what is a ra'i? Yeah, a shepherd, okay? He's got his flock. يرعى حول الحمى. What is a hima?
Like sheep?
It's the border of the king. So the king, every single king, he has this land. It belongs to the state. And it's used for the horses. And back in those days, because they used to have animals for warfare. So that's where those animals graze. No other animals are allowed to graze. Back in those days, if you had an oppressive ruler, and you went and you grazed on that land, what do you think would happen to you?
Death.
Yeah, possibly kill you. At the very least, take you and lock you in chains and torture you. Like, what were you doing on this land? They might think that you're a spy, whatever, And this even happens today. Some American brothers were in Sana'a running. They decided that they wanted to run up in the mountains, and they didn't know that the mountains were, belonged to the military. And boy, they got scooped up, akhi. They got scooped. This happened years and years and years ago. Probably like almost 20 years ago. No. They got put in jail because they're like, what are y'all doing? What do you think they're going to assume?
MashaAllah.
Spies.
So I'm going to save the question. Well, he's got to pray to the rakats first. Somebody to start the answer. Because you guys are disappointing me, man. All right. So he said, so that's the hima, right? The protected land of the king. So he's got his sheep. And he's allowing his sheep to graze what? Right on the border, right where that hima is, right where that protected land of the king is. And what did the Prophet ﷺ say? Yushiku and yarata'afi. That he's just what? He's just about to go over there. All it takes is like, not paying attention, looking over there, and the sheep go over there. Next thing you know, he's going to be in trouble. And he said that is like the person who's in the shubahat, that he's on that fine line of like going into the haram. He's just like right there. And all it takes is just one little what? One little step, one little misjudgment, one little lack of understanding of the adillah, and he's right into the haram. So he said, Yushiku an yarata'a fihi. He said, Ala wa alaykum salam. He said, Ala wa inna likulli malakin hima. So he said, for every king, there's this protective land. And then he said, Ala wa inna hima Allahi, what? Maharimuh. So what is this protected land that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has? His prohibitions. Alright, and then after that, so he said that land right there is the prohibitions. You fall into those prohibitions. He said, وَعَلَى وَإِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ.
You know what that means, right?
They're busy with the chat right now.
With the comments.
Yeah. So what's the last part mean? Y'all can get this. Come
Which
on.
one?
أَلَا وَإِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب.
صلح الجسم.
No, but let's go back to the mudghah part. ألا إن في الجسد مضغة.
Like organ?
Piece of flesh.
Yeah, it's a piece of flesh because mudghah, it comes from the word what? Madagha. Madagha means to what? Chew. Just like if you were to chew a piece of meat until it becomes like chew. So it's like it looks like a chewed piece of flesh basically. All right, but he said, but there's a piece of flesh in the we could say organ. Let's just use that as a translation. What is it?
Like the صلحت جسم كله, like it means like if it's like in good condition, the body's like in good condition. Like,
But not the body.
like
What?
the organ, the flesh.
Well, no, I'm saying that the heart is correct. It's not corrupt. Then what does he mean by salahat jasad kullu?
Like the whole body's gonna be.
The actions.
Yeah.
Because your actions become upright and your actions become correct. And then he said either fasadat jasad kullu. All your actions become corrupt. Because you're doing actions from what? From a state of corruption. So of course your actions themselves are going to be corrupt. So yes. I don't think we're going to get done with it, but that was just like, all I read was like one sentence, so.
We didn't even get one question in.
Should we take questions or y'all want this?
No.
The questions, because it's Friday, and they're going to say, oh, you told us Friday we're supposed to have questions, and I'll come back to this, inshallah. We'll go over this.
Yeah. I see it too.
Go ahead, start asking the questions.
It was, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh for everybody. For everybody in the chat that's in the chat now, and wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh for everybody that will be in the chat in the future. Khalas, inshallah. Go ahead.
أحسن الله عز وجل إليك.
Well, yeah, come to everybody, except for the bad stuff. Well, actually, if you make dua for me that's bad, well, yeah, I can do it. ها؟
إيش الكتاب؟
وين؟
إيش هو؟
جامع علوم والحكمة. Go ahead.
I'm asking for a sister who says, if a woman has a female infection and what comes from her is najasa, what should she do regarding her prayers?
A woman hasn't. Then somebody just asked me this on social media the other day. Is it the same question about al-istihada or what?
It just says,
She's asking about infection.
Yeah, but how is the infection najasa?
Like a yeast infection.
Huh?
Like if she has a yeast infection or something.
You wash it, you do istinja, wash the place and make wudu for every salah. I mean, just do it like you would do with the istihada. Allah knows best.
Yeah, it's like an infection, like it can't go, like the measures can't go. So what should she do?
She has to wash for every salah.
Yeah, but like she's asking like.
Not take a shower,
Yeah.
but wash the area.
But the infection is not
Mhm.
gone, so.
It doesn't matter,
She can still pray.
لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. She still has to pray. She's not menstruating. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't burden a person more than that which he can bear. So she still has to pray. even if she's mustahala, which means that she has, like it's the blood that's coming out, but it's not the blood of menstruation, when it's just continuously coming out, she washes it. And even if she's praying, while it's still coming out, then khalas, it doesn't matter, she just prays. She's got to pray. And if she can't, she can't leave off the salat for that reason. That's not a reason to leave salat. And that goes even for the man, like, you get certain, the ulama, they get asked about this question about the person who, when he urinates, but the urine continues to what? I don't know what it's called, but they have a name for it in Arabic, but I forgot even the name in Arabic was.
No, the urine keeps coming, you can't control it.
No, that's the name of it, but there's the actual sickness of it. No, but that's no, yeah, that's the actual name of that urine, yeah. So what does the person do? When it's time for the salat, he washes the area, he makes wudu, and he goes and prays. And Ibn al-Jawzi, when he spoke about this issue, I'm not sure. I want to say that he spoke about this issue in Talbis al-Iblis, but I'm not sure. You have to check it, but I know for sure. It was either Talbis al-Iblis or it was in his tafsir. So I'm not sure which book he spoke about it, but I'm 100% sure it was Ibn Jawzi. But he said, well, what about the person, when he goes into salat, and he feels it, like even after he's washed, and then he feels something, like some type of excretion, like, some more urine came out. He said he prays. Just continue on in your prayer. Because what's he going to do? Cut his salat every single time that this happens? He's never going to pray. And then also wasawa starts to get involved. And Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah also spoke about the same issue. And said no, he continues on in the salat. Khalas. So for this woman, also with the same type of infection, she washes the area. She's got to pray, so she goes and she prays, But if she knows that this is, whatever, excretion or whatever this thing is called in the English language, and then she washes, for every salat, if she knows, that way, because she has to clean that area.
When it was mentioned that Mustafa al-Adawi went back to Egypt and got into Jama'at, what does this mean? And is he an Ikhwani?
Listen, man, I'm in Fresno, California, and Mustafa al-Adawi is in Egypt. If you want to know anything about an Egyptian person, go ask the people in Egypt. Right now, Mustafa al-Adawi does not affect anything that goes on in this community. So, I mean, that's not my concern. I mean, go, there's an ulama for that. Go to those ulama and ask them. He studied in Yemen for 10 years, studied with Sheikh Mubul. Go to the ulama of Yemen and ask them about Mustafa al-Adawi and what happened to him. But I mean, right now, that's not my job.
I think it's transliteration though.
So,
I'll read this one, but you read the next one, Charles.
has two children. One is legitimate, the other one is the result of zina. Years go by, the children grow up, they meet each other. One is male, one is a female. Can they be alone together?
No. Because he's not considered a legit father for that girl. And in fact, they're talking of which one. It doesn't really matter. I mean, which one was which, because if even, let's say that the girl was from a legitimate marriage and the boy was from an illegitimate marriage, he does not even inherit well, he's not the father, but the man who, because you can't prove that he's the father. Even these DNA tests are not 100% accurate, and we don't take this stuff from the kuffar anyway. So no, I mean, they cannot be alone together, ever. And and if it's a girl, if the girl is illegitimate, then the so-called father and her, when she reaches the age of puberty, they can't be alone together. Because it's not thabit, it's not known 100% that he's even the father. So he's not even allowed to be with her. He's not considered a mahram for her. He has nothing. She doesn't inherit from him, he doesn't inherit from her. There's no connection. She goes back to her mother. She inherits from her mother inherits from her. But that's
So would it be simple if the man's family recognized the child as that they still try to claim?
I mean, they could still have, the family has a relationship, buys clothes for the child and treats the child, it's fine. But I mean, Islamically, as far as like the man being alone with the child when she grows up.
Can they say this is my sister before he got before the board?
No.
You can't, not
No.
supposed to say that.
Unless, I mean, if it was from the woman's side. So let's say that the woman fornicated. she had one child that was legit and one child that wasn't, then yeah, they could say that they're brother and sister from that mother.
Because the illegitimate child
Goes back to the mother, yeah.
So what if she breastfed? Or what if the mom breastfed both of them?
Oh, and that's a whole different story. Like if, well, no, but we're talking about the man though.
We don't know who the dad is for one of them.
You know, the man will have no connection. No, I'm saying, even if you know the man, like, let's say that you're 100%, like, the girl says, no, I was not with any other man except for him. He's the father. Can we believe that?
No.
Well, okay, no, wait, no, because now we're going to get into some nice issues. Why can't we?
She's a fasiq.
Exactly, she's a fasiqah. And what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say?
إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا.
That's it. So we don't,
She's
she's a fasiqah. She's a zaniyah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we don't accept the information from, so she says, I swear by Allah, I didn't fornicate with any other man in my whole life except for him. He's the only man that I've ever fornicated. Can we accept her khabar?
Even if she doesn't
No, because she's sinful. She just committed a major sin, you know? So we can't accept it. So it's rejected anyway. So and she might be telling the truth, but we can't accept it. There needs to be some type of bayyinah. How can she prove that? What type of bayyinah can she give, you know? And we know that also on top of that, no offense to women, but let's just say that women lie about these things. Women lie. If you can ask that we're not talking about like righteous women, we're talking about these women out here on the streets. They'll sit there and say, oh, I've only been with 3 guys in my life, 3 plus the 5 other guys that she didn't like. That she was with them, but she didn't like them. She doesn't count them. She only counts what? Those 3 that she likes. So how can we trust what she says anyways? So that type of khabar is rejected. So the man is out of the picture. The man is completely out of the picture. Now, if he has a wife, a legitimate wife, and the wife now breastfeeds the daughter, that he, but this is going to be very common, but this is going to make the issue much more complex. But okay, so he had the girl, and she's illegitimate. Then after that, he made tawbah. He came in the masjid like, I make tawbah, ya Rabbi, and he's crying about his sins. And then Allah blesses him to get married. And the girl's still small. She's still breastfeeding. And then he gets married. His wife gets pregnant. She has a baby, and then she breastfeeds that girl. Now can she be around the man? Yes, now because of the breastfeeding, but not because of the lineage. You understand? But in that scenario, yes. That's a lot of confusion, boy. It's one of those algebra problems, that you get.
Sheikh, one of our teachers in Jordan taught us that if you take out gas and there's no smell, and you don't need to make wudu. Is that right? Or wrong?
What?
Like if you far and there's no smell.
No.
No noise and no smell.
No, because the thing is that the Prophet ﷺ said, the man came to the Prophet, he said, الرجل يتخيل إليه أنه سمع شيء حدث شيء في الصلاة. There's something that he broke his wudu while he's in salah. And then what did the Prophet ﷺ say to him? He said, لا ينصرف حتى يجد يسمع صوتا أو يجد ريحا. So either 1, you hear the sound, or 2, you hear what? Or you smell the smell. But still, there's a third option also, because he's talking about the general. He's talking about in general sense. Sometimes, maybe you didn't have a loud sound, and there might not be smell.
And you're not sure, a little bubble.
It's one of those silent ones. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, it's possible to pass gas without sound also. And maybe if you're one of those people that eats a lot of vegetables, you're like a vegan or something, maybe there's not that much of a smell either. But the general thing is that if you hear a sound, smell a smell, you go out, you make wudu. Yeah.
But if there's no both, so you don't need to make wudu.
This is talking about the person leaving the salah, because a lot of the times the shaitan comes to the person with wasawis. Oh, you did it. You passed gas. You got to go make wudu. Oh, or maybe you forgot to, I think you forgot your ankle. I've seen,
That's what my teacher told me.
I have seen people in Yemen, make wudu. He does like this. Bismillah. Bismillah. Watch this, like when he forgets that he said Bismillah. And he keeps starting over and over and over again. And even like one time the sheikh was yelling at one of the guys because he was doing it. You know, he's like, y'all gotta stop listening to this was ours, Just Bismillah, make wudu and go on about your business. You don't spend all the time listening to shaitan.
That isn't tactic to me while I eat. Like I say Bismillah, I'm like Bismillah wal ma'akhiru. Like say it like 3 times. Last time I'll be like, I said it, Bismillah wal ma'akhiru, and just eat. What should I say like before that? Bismillah, a'udhu billahi
But I mean, if you say Bismillah bi hadarat al-qalb, your heart is present when you say it, you won't forget that you said it. But if you're just saying it as a habit, somebody puts Bismillah, and you eat, and you're like, oh, did I say Bismillah? Did I say Bismillah? That's when you start to, because your heart wasn't present when you said it. So, I mean, when you see the food, just know, because Bismillah, saying Bismillah before you eat, is a form of ibadah. So ibadah has to have what? The heart has to be present in this action. And then finishing the food and saying Alhamdulillah when you finish is ibadah. So, these are things that you want your heart present when you do.
وعقل هل تقدر تقول بسم الله في الحمام بس في قلبك مش في الصوت؟
You say Bismillah before you go into the hammam.
قصدي بصوتك يعني قلبك مش بصوت؟
Like don't
You say Bismillah before you go in.
بس يعني
Well, aslan, the narration of saying Bismillah, there's ikhtilaf about whether or not that narration is authentic or not anyways, about saying Bismillah. The narration of saying A'udhu billahi min al-khubathi wal-khaba'ith is authentic. But saying Bismillah, A'udhu billahi, no, that's no. Saying Bismillah before you go into the khala. And the stronger opinion from Ahl al-Hadith is that the Hadith is not authentic. Allah knows best.
بس ايش يحصل اذا انت في الحمام ويجي لك صورة في عقلك وانت بس تقرأ في عقلك يعني ايش يحصل؟
Surah.
زي قرآن
Surah al-Quran.
يعني يجي في عقلك عشوائي وانت تقرأ في عقلك يعني ايش يحصل؟
And go into the bathroom, do what you gotta do, and get out.
This is OCD. This is obsessive compulsive disorder. This is not normal. Tell them this is obsessive compulsive disorder, and if they want to cure it, they're supposed to ignore it. Khalas. That's what they're supposed to do. Because I dealt with so much brothers with this.
You can't even recite the Quran even in your heart. You're in the bathroom,
قصدي
so
هو بس يجي لك ايه هكذا عشوائي في عقلك
just let it go. Just do what you gotta do and get out.
قصدي هل هو يعني ما
Or
يجي
do what Sheikh al-Albani used to do.
قصدي هل هو ما
What did
يجي
Sheikh al-Albani used to do? And they have somebody on the outside of the bathroom with a book reading to them. Yeah, don't waste a minute, man. Benefit. Have somebody on the outside
Does
of
that count?
Huh?
Does that count?
There's a book. He's reading a book to him.
Wait, like is he reading the Quran for him?
No, not the Quran, a book.
Oh, so
Like
basically
a
if
book.
someone stands like behind the door, like just
Yeah, outside of the bathroom.
I'm reading the Quran. And if you hear, do you get like good deeds? No.
He just didn't want to waste his time even in the bathroom. He wanted to benefit even, so he had somebody reading a book to him even when he's in the bathroom. So I heard. Allah, I need to go back and read that story. Is authentic. I'm not saying.
Sheikh bin Baz would have poetry read on him and he would make wudu and he memorized poetry from that.
هو قال حتى إذا يغسل يداته لازم يقول دعاء
There's questions before him though.
أنا عارف هذا مهم
This one says, no, this one's more because it's with Aqidah now.
I mean, look, man, the basmala for the wudu is not a condition for the sihha of wudu. So, number one, they didn't have bathrooms in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. They had what they call al-khala. Al-khala, and then you go out to a place, an empty place, and you go to the bathroom. There wasn't a sink, a tub, and all this type of stuff. So when you're going to the bathroom, when you're doing qada al-hajjah, you're doing it on that toilet. So over there where the sink is and everything else, so if you go over there, you make wudu, you say Bismillah. You're not in the khala, you're not in the process of doing qada al-hajjah. Yeah, you're not,
And it's funny because we have it in our mind, once you go enter the door, you're in the
Yeah, because the people think of what we think about. That's not what they didn't have. They went out into the desert and they put up something around him, like somebody would hold something so he could be, hidden, and he would go to dig a hole and go to the bathroom right there, So that's what they call al-khala. So whenever you read these hadith about the things, fil khala, and that's in the process of doing this action of like, the number one or number two, or number three, if you ate a lot of shakshuka.
So if I was,
Shakshuka will give you number three. You know what number three is, right? Diarrhea. Too much of it. Not, once, it's okay. But if you're like shakshuka every day,
so
yeah.
we can give salams and all that.
Not when you're in the khalat.
Not when you're in, not when you're actually.
When you're in the actual process of doing the qada al-hajj, there's no talking, no nothing. You go in there, do what you got to do, and get
But
out.
if you're not, and I'm still in that same.
Yeah, if I'm jazakallah khair, jazakallah khair. Oh my God, it's gonna be an hour before I can drink this. But yeah, if you're like at the sink, washing, because some people they got what? They got the wash and dryer in their bathroom. Some people they got big bathrooms and they wash their clothes. Yeah, somebody comes up to you and says salaam alaikum, wa alaikum salam.
What if you're like in the bathroom downstairs? In the bathroom downstairs, okay? And you're like by the sink making wudu. And somebody watching there and says salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I'll just say
Because I used to say salam alaikum to me one day, they'll tell me.
Because like you said, the translations of all the translations say bathroom.
Yeah.
Right? So us in America, we had this idea that it was a bathroom. So I didn't learn this until I was in Texas before I went to Yemen. And they had some Saudis that were students of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen. And they were sent by the Saudi government to teach fiqh. And I was in the bathroom with him, and he was talking to me. I was like, hey man, we're not supposed to talk in the bathroom. He's like, we're not in the bathroom. He said, you guys got this wrong. Because we were at the sinks making wudu, he said. And then he started explaining the issues. And then we went to Yemen and then, learned more about it here. Because what we used to do even in Damaj, we used to go to the toilets, and we'd have matun, right? Little metans that we're memorizing, Rasul Talat, Kitab Tawheed. And we used to put it on top of the stall before we went into the bathroom. Some people would even put this one, oh, look at that. Hussein, take this out. Because when I hit it, I think I busted it. So it started spraying all over me. But so we put them up on the stall. Some people even put their mushaf. Put it up on the stall, and then they go in, they come out, and they grab it, and they leave. And nobody used to say anything to them. So, and like I said, these were students of knowledge. These were not like just awam. So, what other question?
How does a beginner student of knowledge become grounded and well established in the i'tiqad of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah?
Get out of America. Step number one.
It is your
Once you fulfill that step, you can go over there whenever
Go to
you.
Yemen.
Huh?
Go to Yemen.
Go to a place where they're seeking knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah. Well, step number one, get out of America.
What was the question, Hamza?
which Hamza?
How does it begin?
Oh, I forgot, we got Hamza 3.0 up here now.
Another thing, like, how does someone, like a student of knowledge, how do they become knowledgeable in the belief of Ahlul Sunnah?
Number one, you got to know Arabic. That's the first thing, because how are you going to read?
Mecca somewhere.
Hmm?
Like to Mecca. Like you get a lot of knowledge there.
No, but regardless, you need the Arabic language. But the thing is, to be well-grounded in the beliefs in the Aqidah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you have to be studying with Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. You have to be studying with people who are well-grounded. Just like if you want to get well-grounded in fiqh, you don't go and study with somebody who's known for teaching nahw. Or somebody who's known for teaching, you go to somebody who's what? Well-grounded in fiqh. If you want to get well-grounded in Aqidah, you go to a person. That's what he does. That's what his research is. That's what he focuses on. He does other things, because you have to be grounded in everything. But this is like his thing, and that's what you do. But you need the Arabic language. You need to be around those people. You can bring me another water, please.
Arabic?
Yeah, you could say that. He's going to read this one.
Can you make dua if you mouth words without sound coming out?
Like, how would you do that?
أنت بس تدعو في عقلك أو شيء كذا.
Like say like in your mind, by moving lips.
See, whenever you hear it, like, okay, what was the dua that I mentioned in the khutbah today? All right, well, who was the hadith from? Hadith man?
No, but
Nope.
Sorry.
طيب
The dua, wait, the one that you say above every day in the morning. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min
No, it wasn't that one. The hadith was on Zayd ibn Arqam radiallahu anhu, but pay attention to the wording of the hadith. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول.
So
he said it, they heard it, they memorized it from him. So when he used to make the dua, he used to make the dua with what? Out loud, with sound, where the people heard it. And he said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min what? Min al-ajzi, wal-kasali, wal-jubni, wal-bukhli, wal-harami, wa adab al-qabr.
That's what I said, yeah.
That's not what you said.
I said, Allahumma la a'udhu bika min hammi wal hazan.
I didn't say ham wal hazan. I said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ajzi, wal-kasali,
I was gonna say,
wal-jubni, wal-bukhli, wal-harami, wa adab al-qabr. اللهم آتي نفسي تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها اللهم إني أعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشى ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعوة لا يستجاب لها. But it's something that the Prophet ﷺ, what he said. And whenever you look at these adhkar and these ad'iyah, these dua of the Prophet, he said, Kana yukulu. The hadith of, who was it? I think Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, radiallahu anhu, قال, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول, اللهم إني أسألك التقى والعفاف اللهم إني أسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. Hadith of Sahih Muslim, right? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. But they're going to do it, they're going to do it like the Prophet ﷺ, right? You know, but this is how they learned it, because he used to say it out loud. Now, I mean, obviously, like maybe there's certain du'as, maybe not saying that it's a condition, like I have to say it out loud. Maybe you're praying at night, and there's certain things that you're asking for, maybe you don't want other people to hear it, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you keep it silent, you know? So, if you're married, and you're up standing up in the last third of the night talking about Allahumma razuqni zawjatan thaniya, salihah, tayyiba, mubarakah, you know, and your wife's like, what? You might want to keep that dua to yourself, akhi. I mean, you might want to be a little bit careful with the dua, you know.
I have a question.
The dua might end up with somebody on the front page of the newspaper, you know. Go ahead.
In Jum'ah, are we allowed to raise our hands?
No. You stay silent. That's why I try not to make any dua. Because it messes, once you say Ameen, you're Jum'ah. I mean, you get the ajr, you get you performed your wajib, right? That's complete. But the fadl, the virtue of Jum'ah, like getting your sins forgiven for all, you just lost that. So, honestly, I only make a little bit of dua just because that's what the people expect. Because the first time I was in Jacksonville, I'm not joking, I was giving a khutbah, like, aqim as-salat, and they're just like, huh? They're like, what? Aqim as-salat, ya akhi, come on, stand up. They didn't know what was going on, because in Yemen, that's the sheikh is, aqim as-salat, there's no dua, there's no, and the people looked at me like I was crazy, like, did he forget something? No, I didn't forget nothing. Stand up. Even the brother that was supposed to call the Aqama, he's just still sitting down. I'm like, Aqim as-salat,
No, sir, they still see it like strange here, to be honest with you. I talk to people and they say, how come the sheikh does not make dua after the salat?
I tell you know what you tell them? No, but I'm saying, you know what you tell them? Tell them I will make as much dua as they want me to, if they can show me that the Prophet ﷺ did it. That's it. I don't care about what the masajid do, but I'm saying show me that the Prophet ﷺ, he made dua, we know, when the man came into the masjid for istisqa, for awara, for things that came up, and the people needed, but not, he didn't make dua all the time, like every single salat making dua. So if there was something like, for example, in this case, there was no rain, the crops were dying. So the man came into the masjid, he said, the crops are dead, everything's dying, and then the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands while he was in the khutbah, and he made like a dua of istisqa, you know. And then the next week, the same guy came in, and what happened? It rained all week. And he said it's raining too much, you know, that the crops are being destroyed. So then the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands and made dua to stop, you know, hawilu alayna, hawilu, what's that? Oh, yeah, la alayna, yeah. So and then they went out, and when they walked out of the khutbah, they walked out into the sun. You know, the sun was shining. So that was a specific situation, but it's not something that he regularly did.
So if we go to another mosque, like the Frisbee Mosque or Badr, and the Sheikh, you know, they make dua after the khutbah.
Sit there and just.
Should we just be quiet, not say Ameen? Because they used to tell us that, you know, the Sahaba, radiallahu anhum, they used to say Ameen.
Wallahi, I challenge them. Show me one authentic narration.
That's what I heard, Sheikh, from a lot of you know. They say that the Sahaba, radiallahu anhum, they used to say Ameen in very loud noise.
In the khutbah?
No, after the khutbah, you know.
No, even after the khutbah. The hadith is an Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, in which he said what? He said, وَمَنْ مَسَّ الْحَصَى فَقَدْ لَغَى. You know, whoever touches a pebble, you know, just like, you know, because in those days, the ground of the masjid was like little small rocks. Yeah, that was gravel, right? So you know, if you're getting, you know, kind of bored or tired, what do? You touch something, you just pick up like something from the carpet. He said, وَمَنْ مَسَّ الْحَصَى فَقَدْ لَغَى. Khalas, he's lost the ajr of that Jummah. The fadl, you know, the virtue of it, you know, as far as getting his sins forgiven. But the wajib is he still fulfilled his wajib. Right? The obligation of praying Jummah for the man, he's fulfilled that obligation, but he doesn't get the extra reward for it. So what about now? I mean, you know, because that's against the istinsat, and you know, istinsat, you know, yeah, tunsat is like what? You listen with no talking.
How about like in the Taraweeh, Sheikh? You know, Ramadan and Taraweeh, they make dua, same thing. Is it the same thing? Like
that's also bid'ah.
Oh, that's also bid'ah?
Well, the Prophet ﷺ, there's no narration that the Prophet ﷺ did any type of dua in witr. There's only the narration where he taught, I believe it Hassan, right? The dua for qunut al-witr. That's it. But nobody, even the ulama, they have ikhtilaf about what he taught him that dua for. Was it to use at the end of witr, or was it used for something else? But the Prophet ﷺ never made dua in witr. Like, I can challenge them to that. To show, he made dua, he encouraged the people to make dua in sujood. But not to make, like, you know, like what they do in Sardiya, where they stand up like for 15 minutes with their hands up, making dua for, like, you know, Allahumma, put blessing in the ants of this land, and put blessing in the bread and the cheese, and you know, and just make a dua for every single thing, you know, my mother, his mother, their mother, our mothers, everybody's mother. No, this is bid'ah. It's not from the sunnah.
We were like in this past Ramadan, we were in Masjid Badr. You know, I just went there one time, me and my kids. And the Sheikh was making dua, wallahi, maybe for like at least 10 minutes. When we went home, my son told me, Dad, I can't feel my back. It's not the older people, you know, because I can't feel my back either from standing up like this. I feel like in my arms, you know.
And I'd be up there making dua, Allahumma baddil hadha al-imam bil-imam, you know, give us a new imam. You know, it's like somebody that makes dua in 30 seconds, you know. Because the Prophet ﷺ, his dua was what? He came with the jawab al-kalim. He didn't make dua with like this type of tafsil, you know, specifying every little detail. He would make these dua that are what? That incorporate so many different things, you know. So, and that's the best dua, you know. Like, you know, why don't you just like, for example, Allahumma, you know, you say, may Allah give me a righteous wife. Oh no, Allah give me a righteous wife with brown hair and brown eyes and, you know, and nice toes and, you know, and you want to go and get all this detail. No, just make dua for what you need, you know. Now going into all this detail and all this, is this what you do?
No,
okay.
I'm telling you, Sheikh Abdul Salam Shuwa'ir, Sheikh Abdul Salam Shuwa'ir, he said that there was a group of scholars who said that if you make specific dua in salah, your salah is invalid. That's what he said. I'm saying, is that valid or true? Is that true or not?
I don't know about that. I mean,
Because it came from Abdul Salam Shuwair. I can send you the audio of him
I
saying it.
believe you. I believe you. But I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's the ijtihad of Allah. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment on that. You know, because if you can, you know, that means a lot of people's salats all
What
invalid.
is this? Inshallah.
Covering a lot of issues.
Yeah,
You know?
Have a good one.
they're gonna do our living.
Sahib al-Jidar, huh? This is the new Sahib al-Jidar, huh? Oh, you just want me to get in trouble with everybody today, don't you? You know what he's trying to do, right? Now he's talking about the people, and they do the same thing in Jacksonville too, right? They'll say, you know, Aqim as-salah. So the people stand up, the guy calls the Iqamah, and what do? We have announcements, and they got the people standing for like 10 minutes, you know, and man. Is that what you're talking about?
No, they do the announcements here before he says,
For that Muhammad Salah.
Oh, they don't know, okay.
when he
Before that,
finishes, he makes the dua, then he says, whatever the announcement is, then he say,
No, that's bidah, that's bidah. Whatever you gotta say, akhi, that is a time for the khutbah, and it's a time for the salah. This is ibadah. Finish it. Whatever announcements, just like what we did today, we had to talk to the people, we do it after. Like, let this ibadah get finished. But like what they do, like in Jacksonville, they get everybody to stand up, and they do all these announcements. Okay, you know, the police said we can't park in this parking lot over here, and everybody's like, you know what I'm saying? Because Jum'ah, you want to go eat, man. You just pray. And then you got this guy got you standing up for like 10 minutes. And while he's doing announcements, you know what they're doing, right? Oh, you know what they're doing. Come on, you know what they're doing. What are they doing while everybody's standing?
Like,
No, they got the tray going around. Pass the money tray.
Yeah, the donation.
The donation tray. They got 4 or 5 people walking through the rows. Donate, while everybody's standing up waiting for the announcements. Yes.
Would that money, would that money be haram?
The right time, you can't.
Yeah, they want to make sure that they get everybody stuck.
Nobody's leaving.
Nobody's leaving until we get what we want. You can't park in that parking lot, and we want $1,000.
Would that money be haram?
Yeah, I mean that's haram. That's not. Come on.
You're wasting people's time. They want to donate, they can.
So also these days, like it's common, like in most masajid, even like year one, they do qunut at the end of every salah. Like the last rak'ah, they would do qunut for like, you know, because of what's going on in Palestine. And
Now, the Prophet ﷺ, he did it for a small period of time, and you leave it.
the thing is,
You don't do it for the entire war. You do it for a period of time, and then he would stop. You know.
they don't even do it right. Like the qunut, is you go straight to the qunut, right? Straight to the problem. They do dua for other things. They say, Allahumma ahdina fi man hadayt wa afina fi man afayt.
How you make dua on the on the enemy? It's attacking the Muslim. And you do it at the end of every salah. Every salah, not just one specific
My
salah.
local masjid, every single salah for the past 9 months, they did no.
For 9 months.
For the past since the issue started.
Tell them it's not working. Tell them they need to do something to get closer to Allah. You know, because if you've been doing qunut for 9 months, then you know maybe you need to start advising them, like we talked about today. Get back to the obedience of Allah. Because if you want that dua, because what did the Prophet ﷺ say about the guy? He said, ثم ذكر رجل what أشعث أغبر. What أشعث أغبر? He's traveling, right? رجل يطيل السفر. You know, أشعث أغبر يمد يديه إلى السماء يا رب يا رب. ومطعمه حرام وملبسه حرام ومطعمه حرام وغذي بالحرام فأنى يستجاب له. So here the Prophet ﷺ, he's mentioned a man, يطيل السفر, like he's been traveling for a long time. That's from the asbab al-istijaba, right? That's from the reasons of getting your dua answered. The traveler's dua is answered. So that's one. And then look at his state, his hal. Ashaf akhbar is another reason of getting your dua answered, right? Yamuddu yadayhi ila sama, and then he raises his hands to the sky. Another reason, a third reason of getting your dua answered, right? And then, Ya Rab, Ya Rab, he's calling on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through his rububiyyah, through his names and his attributes, right? His names. Another reason of getting your dua answered. But then what did he say? ومطعمه ومطعمه حرام وملبسه الحرام وإيش وغضي بالحرام. Well, there's one more thing. ومشربه حرام, right? Yeah. ومطعمه حرام ومشربه حرام وملبسه حرام وغضي بالحرام. And then what did the Prophet? All of these things are haram. His food's haram, his drink's haram, his clothing's haram. All the nutrition that he's been fed with has been what? Haram. فَأَنَّ يُسْتَجَابُ لَهُ. So it's like بَعِيد جِدًّا أَنْ يُسْتَجَابُ لَهُ. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said it's very, very far-fetched that his dua will be answered, even though he came with all of these reasons. So now you get all these people, يَتَعَامَلْ مَعَ رِبَا, doing qunut every single day in the masjid. Wallahi, for them, it's better for them to focus on getting back to the obedience of Allah and leaving off this haram. If we left off this haram, wallahi, watch what's going to happen. You'll see. And that's what these kuffar are afraid of. The kuffar ain't afraid of us standing up in the masjid. You can make dua until the sun rises in the west, akhi. But if this is the state of the Muslims, where we're in the ta'amal riba, where we're sitting here using interest, Dearborn. You know, you got more drug dealers than you got students of knowledge, akhi. You know, it's like, come on, man. You know.
The crazy thing about this issue is whenever they talk about the issue for Palestine, they always talk about the real protest instead of, coming back to the...
Yeah, but here, okay, Dearborn. How many Yemenis in Dearborn? Yemenis, Palestinians, all right, how many of them own stores? Oh, a lot. How many of them sell alcohol?
Probably...
The vast majority of them, right? Pork, lottery tickets, okay?
Blunt wraps.
How many of the Yemenis and Palestinians in Dearborn own smoke shops? Do they have, because it's legal there, right?
Yemeni guys.
They own smoke shops, right? How many? A lot, right? So maybe we need to focus on fixing these issues first. So we take all these guys, these owners of the smoke shops, these people that are selling alcohol. And what about because a lot of the Palestinians have the car lots, and they deal with what? With riba, with interest. So now we got the car lot owners, we got the store owners that are selling alcohol, we got the smoke shop owners, all coming to the masjid making dua for Palestine. Are you serious, akhi? Wallahi, one believer, one muwahid, standing up at night will have way more effect than all of these guys filling up the masjid making their qunut. They need to go back to the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how we're going to get that victory. They're not going to get this victory by just going out and just continuing on in this. No, it's not going to work. Because this is, could you imagine like the Sahaba seeing us in the state that we're in right now? Smoke shops and alcohol and all this stuff. Come on, out here.
معاهم قاد حتى أنا شفت واحد معاه سوق على القاد
Yeah, the Yemenis in Hanford, they sell qad like crazy. The Yemenis are one city away from us.
Oh, but
that's crazy.
It's not haram. Shokani said it's not haram.
Ask the question. Ask the question.
Is smoking haram?
He's like, you do it and find out.
You don't talk. I have a question. If you are on
I'm just showing you that you don't need to ask me these questions. Your father knows the answer to these questions.
if you are giving khutbah and you just stood on the minbar, okay, and I walked in 1 minute late. Well, like today, I walked in and you walked in right behind me and they start doing the adab. Do I have to do the 2 rak'ahs or do I sit down?
Oh, you pray the 2 rak'ahs.
I have to do the 2 rak'ahs.
That's a hadith where the man came in and sat down and the Prophet ﷺ said, Qum salli rak'atayn. He told him in the khutbah, stand up and pray rak'atayn.
Do you have to wait for the adhan until finish or you just start praying?
I always believed this, right? And I used to always stand and wait for the adhan to finish. Because for some reason I never ever found evidence for this. And then I looked for it and I said, man, why do I keep doing it? I mean, I'm talking about for 15 years, akhi, even in Yemen, akhi, I was in the mass when they called the adhan, I was standing, and all the students were standing and wait for the adhan to get finished and then pray the 2 rak'ahs. Nobody would start praying during the adhan. But I never, then it's like, it took about 15 something years. I'm like, what's the hadith for this? And I went looking for it and I couldn't find it. The only thing that I could find was a fatwa of Sheikh Ibn Baz where he said, no, it's permissible to pray during the adhan, but you know, it's better not to, you know, because one, most of the people, they want to say what the muadhin is saying and make the dua after the adhan, so they wait for the adhan to finish and then to pray, you know. But if a person stood up and prayed during the adhan, like I said, I don't know. If somebody has the evidence for that, please show me, because I couldn't find it.
They said it's better you pray because the adhan is just mustahab or sunnah.
I mean, there were times because there were even times where the Prophet ﷺ would be, you know, they would talk during the adhan. So, you know, again, you know, people, because they don't understand the sunnah, and the sunnah is not taught. So, like right now, let's say that you're in a masjid, it's all Pakistanis.
Oh,
and and I'm using this specific example. You saw what it, all right, and they're calling the adhan, and you're still talking to your friend. What do you think they're going to do? How do you think they're going to react to you talking during the adhan? Yeah, exactly. They're going to.
That happened to me the other day. Happened 2 days ago.
Because they want their masajid like museums. Like even if you read Quran, you got to go in there like. You can't even raise your voice in there; they'll kick you out the masjid. One time I was in there reading Sunnah Abi Dawud, and one of my kids in the masjid, they told me get out. This was in Jacksonville. They said get out. I said, dude, I'm reading hadith in the masjid. He said, yeah, but you're disturbing the people. I'm like, there's nobody in here. And they're playing with their phones. He said, yeah, but you're disturbing. Get out. And I had to go outside and read Sunnah Abi Dawud, hadith, outside. Then I looked at my kids. I said, was I reading that loud? And my kids said, no. You know, we could barely hear you. I was like, this dude heard me all the way, you know, shaitan, man. But, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously you need to know where you're at, the audience that you're with. Like, yeah, I mean, so if you're in one of those masajid, I wouldn't be sitting there hanging out talking because you know it's going to cause a lot of fitna. But even if you gave them the hadith, it doesn't matter. They're not going to listen to it. So.
What the dua shaykh between the two khutbah?
That's the opinion of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen. I don't know, because I'm still on the opinion when you go to the khutbah, you stay silent until it's finished.
So you can't even.
I mean, for me, I don't know. That's the opinion of Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen. If you take his opinion, I mean, he's way more knowledgeable than I am. So no, that was an opinion, you know, of the Sahaba.
But there's no hadith.
No, but there's narrations from the Sahaba. The difference of opinion amongst the Sahaba about when that time was. So he has a salaf for that, you know, and that's his opinion. I mean, he's way more knowledgeable than I am. So, you know, so I mean, I wouldn't say don't take, you know, but I mean, for me personally, you know, I believe it's the last hour. The last hour of Jummah, that's when the dua is answered. And Allah knows best.
Any questions?
No, you got it.
Oh, we'll have our guests. MashaAllah. Bright faces today. Let's see if they have any questions.
My cousins.
Came with a whole tribe tonight. Sister, oh no.
What does that mean?
He's already got me in some boiling water, like the frog. So now, since the water's still hot, let him go ask another question that's going to cause more problems.
I have a question.
All right, yes, your question now.
Since today we're talking.
He's older, man. We got it.
No, go ahead.
No.
It's a guess. It's a guess.
You're the elder. You're the elder.
Go ahead. You're cool up to him. It's a guess. Go ahead.
He's elder.
Hold on.
Okay, inshallah. Since we're talking about dua today, a lot of dua, I see a lot of people.
Oh, you guys are talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
You're making me talk about it,
Yeah, since we're already on the subject, in a lot of masajid, people make dua after salah instead of, like the appropriate times before salah, sujood, these kind of things.
Specifying time for dua,
It's like a halaqah.
you need evidence. Like, so if you make a dua specifically after every salah, where's the dalil for that? The Prophet ﷺ made afkar. He did the afkar. He didn't make dua. All right, so these types of things, no, it's not. You don't partake in it. It's bid'ah. Yeah. These are just things that the people do, the customs of the people. And if you ask them for dalil, they'll just come with that same old argument that people will come with from the past. Like, oh, well, we're just trying to do good. And yeah, okay, you're trying to do good, but you have the real good is what? Do what the Prophet ﷺ. Why? You leave off the sunnah. Doing this bid'ah is way more difficult than just doing the sunnah. Pray 11 rak'ahs in Ramadan, or pray 20. No qunut al-witr, or stand up with your hands up in the air for 15, 20 minutes. This bid'ah is more difficult. If people put themselves in more difficulties trying to do the bid'ah, because the deen is yusr. It's made easy. This deen is easy for us. And each person on each level can do things of benefit that he can do himself, and everybody can benefit. But you see the people that go to all these extremes, like trying to, you tell them for example, like we used to talk with the Shia in Yemen. Every year with the Mawlid, the Mawlid. Say, yeah, he fast Yom al-Ithnain, Yom al-Khamis. If you know what I'm saying, you really want to act like the Prophet and do what the Prophet did. Why don't you fast? Why don't you do the things that he used to do? How did he said that he was born on what day?
No, I think we already answered. This is from
What day? Yom al-Ithnain, right? And what did he say he used to do on Yom al-Ithnain? He said, I'll not fast that day. So you fast the day that he said. Why don't you do that? But they don't want to do that. Then they want to go hold this big elaborate celebration, spending all this money, doing all this bid'ah, running around in the streets, doing all this shirk, labbaik, ya Rasul, labbaik, the Shabbat of Sana. I was behind them one time in a taxi, a whole mokib of the Houthis, with the green, they had all the green stuff all over the cars and shouting this out in the streets, So I mean, come on, man, just do the sunnah. It's just easy, it's much easier, and that's what you get reward for.
No, I think
What's your?
You got another question right there.
No, he's doing it from the phone.
We're doing the comment section.
Da ma yuribuk ila ma la yuribuk. Leave that what you doubt for that what you don't doubt.
This one says, does touching a woman with sexual thoughts break wudu?
No.
No? What if it's like you don't know?
You gotta ask this one.
I mean, if you touched her with sexual thoughts and the medhi came out, then that would break your wudu.
What if you,
I don't know, what is that, the medhi? What is it?
Pre-cum.
I don't like that terminology, actually. There's a scientific terminology. That's like some terminology from videos you should be watching.
if she's not married to you?
That's what the doctors say.
What if she's not married to you?
Yeah, okay, so it's pre-sperm or whatever. Let's use a more nicer term for it.
What if she's not married to you? Will that break your wudu?
No. That will put you in a sinful state. But it's not going to break your wudu.
What would you delete?
No, but see, the thing about it is the Prophet ﷺ only mentioned, he said in the hadith of Busra, he said, "Man massa dhakarahu falyatawadda." So he only mentioned the man's private part. He didn't mention the female's private part. And then some of the ulama will say, well, this is from the Prophet ﷺ, he'll mention the man, but he means both. But no, actually, this is specific. I don't know if this is being authentic. But the most authentic hadith, according to Bukhari, is the hadith of Busra, which is man massa dhakarahu falyatawadda. Because the other hadith, which is the one that Ali ibn Madini said was the most authentic hadith, was where the man went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, رَجُلٌ يَمَسَّ ذَكَرَهُ فِي الصَّلَاةِ. Then this hadith is kind of like mushkil, because he's in the prayer, and he said a person is in the prayer and he touches his private parts. Alright, but here it's not clear. Is he touching his private parts, or is he like sticking his hand in his pants while he's praying? So it's not clear about this hadith. And the hadith, there's kalam about the authenticity of this hadith. But the Prophet ﷺ said, "La, فَإِنَّهَا بَضْعَةً." Here, بَضْعَةً مِنْكَ. It's a piece of you. So it's just like touching your arm or your hand or something like this. It doesn't break your wudu. But the most authentic hadith is Busra, man massa dhakarahu falyatawadda. So that's the most authentic hadith in this issue. Now, according to Imam al-Bukhari, now what's mentioned is only the male. So So the ulama of hadith, when they look at the hadith and they see that these other hadith are not authentic, then they say, okay, this is only for the man. So if the woman touches her private part for whatever reason, then she doesn't have to make wudu. Like it doesn't break her wudu, but only. So then if the man were to, I don't, you know what I'm saying. So you know where I'm going with this without having to go there. So who's snitching on Mujahid?
Oh, he called you the word you don't want to be called.
Who?
Him. Him.
أنا كنت شايف بالغلط.
I'm your father, dude.
أنا كده بالغلط.
يا أبا أنا. He says,
Any more questions so we can get out of here?
This is the last one. Sheikh for
كثير.
your clarification.
clarification. The hadith on the two witnesses is weak.
The what?
Two
The
witnesses.
hadith on two witnesses.
No, the ziyada of the two witnesses is weak. No. Like, hold on.
شيء مصبور. في صوت.
Wait, he's talking about the two witnesses in marriage.
Yes, I think it just says two witnesses. I mean, what else can it mean?
If he's talking about the two witnesses in marriage, I don't remember ever saying that the hadith is da'if. If I did,
We'll tell him tomorrow.
the man that came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we went over this hadith.
وَدُوا النَّاسِ يشتري روحهم.
Did I mention that the hadith, the ziyada of the two witnesses is weak? Alright. We'll talk about that issue tomorrow, inshallah, in Bulugh al-Maram. We'll go back over it, inshallah.
يلا حمزة.
Because what I was talking about was the condition. That the two witnesses is not a condition for the marriage. It's not a condition. Man, turn that thing off.
يلا time for the adhan.
عبد الله